And we are on their way. SvenCreg on the left screen, Drago on the right screen. Both runners start out in the intro stage, the highway section. And this is a shoot as fast as you can fest. They'll both be passing through several different gunbolts. Come the middle of the stage, they'll be getting to a pair of bees. And then at the end of the stage, they'll have to go through cars, all of which have a pretty healthy health bar. And they will have to be getting past each of those in order to get to the final boss of the stage, which is also an unwinnable boss fight with Vile. Drago getting past the first bee pretty nicely. Sven got a passive bee though, so he's going to either need to get some health or be extremely careful on the second bee. Sven, he's going to get his machine gun, so he's going to be able to pass through this without any problems. And both runners getting past the first real difficult portion of the stage with no problems. Alright. As they get to this area, they're starting to pass through all of the falling blocks. And now this is a part where the runners have to be careful because the jammingers here can have a very high potential of dropping health drops, which you saw on Drago's screen. The runners want to be at 3 health or less when they get to the final boss of the area. Reason for that being is that Vile will not grab you and end the stage until you are at 3 health or less. So both runners are there. And now the final portion, the cars at the end. Drago misses his blue shot, so that costs him a little bit of time. Oh, Sven with a really nice dodge there, but he's unfortunately going to get a third car because of it. Drago going to end the split with a 2:06 time. And Sven, the 2:18. So both runners well on their way. Next stage for our runners is going to be the Penguin stage. This will always be the first stage that speedrunners go to, as it is the stage you acquire your dash boots. And once we get the dash boots, things really speed up for our speedrunners. Now, there are a couple of trials and tribulations you have to get through in order to get the dash boots. You have to go through a pair of axemen and a couple of bunny rabbits, and those bunny rabbits can really end your day. He's been getting past the axeman pretty nicely. He takes out the last rabbit, and now our runners are onward to the cave. And in the cave, you're going to experience some things that we call slope jumps. And there, Drago just performed one right there. What the slope jump section is while you're moving downhill, you actually move faster than if you're moving anywhere else. So what our speedrunners will do is they'll actually move down the slope, and you actually saw Sven miss it there. We'll actually move down the slope, jump, and then turn back upwards. This will allow our runners to get more height. Sven went for there and got a slightly modified one. But now that Drago has his dash boots, now things are really going to speed up for them, as they're going to dash through the section, and they're also going to be able to perform an ability known as the Dash Lemon. Dash Lemons are basically shooting a regular buster shot at dash speed, which will actually double the damage. And that allows our runners to be able to take out things much easier than if they would have to wait for a charge every single time. And this mechanic will be exploited in almost every boss fight that you will see in this run. So Drago going into Penguin. Penguin gives him a slide. The Penguin RNG that you want is for him to clear out the ice penguins, just like he does there. And now he's shooting the ice blocks at Drago. This is a really somewhat decent RNG pattern for Penguin, and Drago's going to kill him with a 502 time. The next mechanic that you're going to see our runners using in these boss fights is they want to finish the boss fight as close to the center of the room as they can, because X will not teleport out of the room until he's in the center. Sven is not getting quite the same friendly boss fight that Drago got, but Sven's able to take care of him very nicely, and he's in the center of the room. Next stage for our runners is going to be Kawanger. Sven with the fade out. That's a very nice 30 frames of time save for him to get. The fade out is basically whenever you finish the boss fight, if you press start on the exact frame that X begins to move, it will actually pause the game, and I put pause in quotations. Sven is actually going to be doing a route differentiation where he's going to be going to Eagle instead of Kawanger stage. Now this may be because Kawanger stage doing the turtle skip is easier with the tornadoes. So a bit of a route differentiation here in this race, so we'll have to be very mindful of our times as they're going through these runs to see where our runners are actually at. Sven gets to the platform section, and these platforms can really be a nuisance for the runners as the turrets on there can really give you a bad day. While Drago is going through the ladder yatter section, and now he's to the inside of the tower climb, having a little bit of trouble on that turret there, but he's going to be able to get it up, and onward to the Kawanger fight. Kawanger has a very interesting mechanic in the fact that you can cycle one of his attacks. He will actually try to dash at you and grab you with his talons, or whatever you want to call them. So the idea is to get as close to him as he can, and when he bends down to grab you, to jump. Drago was able to get it originally, but he lost it somehow. Over to the Eagle fight. Eagle wants to shoot you with tornadoes. He actually only has 2 damaging attacks. The first one is diving at you like he's doing now, and the second one is shooting his little baby hatchlings at you. His other 2 attacks, which flapping his wings and shooting the tornado, doesn't actually damage you at all, but they can have the ability to push you off the edge if you're extremely unfortunate. Both of our runners finishing off their respective boss fights at generally the same time, and I'm not exactly certain, but I think the stages are pretty significantly close to the same, so they might actually be in close proximity to each other as well still. Sven going for the mammoth fight, and Drago switching over to chameleon stage. Drago, as we said before, he's not going to... We're going to see if he actually does go for some safeties. For the most part, Drago chooses not to take any safeties. He just plays the game straight as is. So, you see there, he doesn't go for the armor. And it looks like Sven did get the E-Tank in the Eagle stage, and he's also going to pick up the Mammoth Heart here as well. So he's going to take out these miners with the tornado, and then he's going to go upwards to the secondary conveyor belt section. And it's a little bit longer than the first area. And that bullet might hit him. No, he dodges it very nicely. So now Drago onward to the chameleon fight, and this is pretty much the easiest boss fight in the game. Once you get the cycle into its respective pattern, it's pretty much a dead lizard at that point. And Drago has the rotation that he wants, and he's going to be able to take him out just like this. Now, Sven moving on to the Mammoth fight. Mammoth is a pretty steady boss fight as well, however, he can give you some problems if he jumps. You want to put the original tornado shot as close to him as possible. That way you get 2 hits on him. Because the tornado will hold in its area before it takes off. So, see right there, he's able to get the double hit. And now Drago moving on to the Eagle section, which we already saw Sven complete. Sven didn't get too many dives. I think he got 2 dives. So that's important to see how many dives Drago gets. If he gets more than 2, Sven's going to have a healthy little time save on Drago. Now Sven will be moving down to the Kuwanger fight. And Drago will not be going for the E-Tank. He's going to be taking out those gunvolts with a nice healthy shot. And now he's just going to be damage boosting off the flame turret. That flame turret can give a difficult pattern for you to take out. You have to take it out with a full blue charge and then a single dash limit. And it is a very difficult shot to get out, so some runners don't go for it at all. And now Sven going through the turtle climb. He's going through it nice and safely. No need to use his tornadoes, just jump over them when the missiles are gone. And Drago gets to the Eagle fight. Eagle's weakness is the Sea Sting that Chameleon drops for you, which you did not see in the Sven fight because Sven had not killed Chameleon yet. Drago has it here, so he's going to be able to take out Eagle a little bit quicker, but Eagle is going to give him 4 dives. So Sven did acquire the better Eagle fight. And now Sven going on the outside of the tower. And he's having a little bit of difficulty with these ladder yatters. He's able to get the 3rd one finally. And now the 4th one gives him no problems. Drago moving on to the Mammoth stage after Eagle. And Sven with the internal tower climb on the way to the boss fight. Takes out that wall turret. And now he is into the boss fight area. One thing to note about the any percent route is while there are optimized routes that you can do, the Mammoth stage is not in that optimization anywhere. You can pretty much, as long as you kill Penguin and Eagle, you can go after Mammoth stage whenever you want. It doesn't really seem to matter, and you see it in almost every speedrun. They choose to do Mammoth at certain times. Some people say that it's better to do it one way over the other, but as long as you have the ice, which gets rid of all the lava on the stage, which helps with lag reduction, and as long as you have the tornadoes, which is his weakness, it truly doesn't matter when you fight Mammoth after that. Sven taking out Wenger very nicely, and Drago, as you saw in the first video, with Sven getting as close to Mammoth as he can, that way he can get the double hits with the tornado, and that is a dead elephant. Craig moving on to the Chameleon stage, and we're going to see if he gets the armor here. Was chosen to be bypassed by Drago. Sven bringing out the fire waves for us, and he will be going after the armor. So the RT-55J fight, the most optimal way that you can take him out is by firing 18 boomerangs at him and then 5 dash shots. A secondary optimization pattern is to do 17 and 7 or 16 and 8. You see he went for the 18 route. He is missing some of his dash charges though, but RT-55J is now dead, and Craig will be rewarded with armor, which is 50% damage reduction in this game. So Drago into the Thunder Slimer fight, and Thunder Slimer gave him kind of a troll pattern. He just threw his bubbles down. He didn't really come down for Drago to really DPS him down. but he was able to take him out very nicely. And now you see on Sven's screen, as he's going through the screen, he has killed RT55J. He does not have the falling boulders that you saw in Drago's fight. That is because RT55J jumping around, having his party and stuff like that, being a noisy neighbor, everybody hates those. He basically knocks rocks off the ceiling, but since he is dead, Sven does not have to deal with him. So that is another bonus to taking out RT55J in any percent, as you don't have to deal with the falling boulders, and you get 50% damage reduction. There's absolutely no reason to not go for it, other than, you know, it takes about 45 seconds to kill him. So, Drago onward to the Mandrill fight, and this is really just kind of a sad boss fight. You freeze him, and then you kill him. And, you know, nobody likes to be cold, nobody likes to be frozen in place, so it's just sad. Creg, on the other hand, going after the Chameleon fight, and he's going to put him into the same rotation that you saw with Drago, with the exception that he's going to have one less ammo, so he's going to have to do a dash jump off the wall to finish him off, and very nicely executed by Creg. So both of our runners have three Mavericks left. Drago has... Actually, no. Drago has two Mavericks left. So Drago's up one Maverick right now. He has Dillo and Octo left, whereas Creg has Mandrill, Dillo, and Octo left. Creg will be going through this stage with the tornadoes, and he's actually going to take the bottom route, that way he can get the E-Tank here as well. So Creg with a couple of safeties to his name. Drago still has not picked up one. And this is going to be really the last opportunity Drago's going to have to pick up a safety. And he's not going to go for the heart either. So unless he feels like killing the Yuto in the bottom section, he's not going to be getting any safeties. He's going to be staying true to his name and going low percent all the way. And now for the Thunder Slimer fight for Creg, and Slimer's going to come down. He's going to get a tornado off. He's going to get a second one, and one more should do it. Oh, he goes back up before the full tornado finishes. Drago finally gets Armadillo to break out of his pattern, and now he's just going to DPS him down with Thunder Spark. Two more hits, and he finishes him off nicely in the center. And now on his way to the Octo fight, which the Octo fight can be a very big nuisance on any percent. Especially going the low percent route that Drago is going, for the main reason that the ships do a lot of damage, the fish does a lot of damage, Octo does a lot of damage, and Octo actually has a very high activity rate in his boss fight as far as damaging abilities are concerned. So it can be a very big nuisance if he gets into a bad pattern, that you could very easily die to Octo. Sven, on the other hand, with the ice equipped for the Mandrill fight. This is a pretty simple fight as well. Although, if he gives you punches, you can get yourself into a bad time. But Creg's able to take him out of those punches very nicely, and that monkey's dead. This is what I was talking about with the submarine pattern. He got a really laggy searchlight from the submarine, and that cost him a lot of health. And the submarine only gave him a small health drop, so he's only going to be going into the boss fight with, well, at this point he's got 6 health left to his name. So we're going to see if he plays a safety role here on this Udo and waits for some health to spawn from the Udo. Otherwise, he's in a very dangerous position, and that's what he's going to do, actually. And he's going to get full health off of the Udo, so very wise choice by Drago there. He understands his limitations, and he understands how difficult this boss fight can be. Sven bringing out the fire waves. He's been bringing them out all this run. So shout outs to our favorite weapon, the Fire Wave, the most underused and most powerful weapon in the game. He's also going to use the Boomerang Cutter to get a couple more health drops. Drago jumping around, dodging, jumping, dodging. And Octopus is finally dead. Well executed fight for Drago there. And finally, after 20 minutes and 30 seconds of searching, Zero has found Sigma's Fortress on Drago's screen. And will be able to happily announce that he is about to die. Oh, spoiler alert, sorry about that. So Creg riding the cart, getting to the boss fight for Dillo stage, and Dillo gave Drago a pretty bad pattern. So we're going to see what type of pattern Creg gets here. Does not look like Drago is going for Leap of Faith. And Creg gets a really good pattern. And he's going to be able to start DPSing the boss down really quickly. And Dillo is dead. Now, one thing you saw Drago do leading up to the fortress is he was actually taking damage from some of the turtles. He took a couple of hits from the ceiling and floor turrets, and also one from the gunvolt. That is actually because the Vile's second fight is coming up, and you have to be at 6 or less health for Vile to shoot his E-Spark at you and take you down. So now that that's happened, Drago's going to be able to skip the cutscene, and he will be onward to the Vile fight. Sven taking an unfortunate damage boost from that turtle there, but he's able to get some health to go back. And now on to the Vile fight. Vile's heaviest weakness, he actually has 3 weaknesses, is the rolling shield, which you see Drago using to great effect. He is also weak to missiles and E-Spark, but those only do 3 damage as opposed to the rolling shield doing 4. And now, rest in peace to our most favorite character of the series. Unfortunately, Zero has passed away. And Drago now moving on to the Kawanger refight, which will be next for him. And this climb, it can look menacing at first, but once you understand where to properly release your C-Sting, you can get through it in no time flat. And now the Kawanger refight will be a bit different because you have his weakness as opposed to fighting him Buster only. Oh, Craig's getting trolled by the fishes. Got swallowed by both of them, but he's able to make it through. And Drago, with the refight done, will be able to move on to the fortress's first boss, which is our most favorite, the spider. Creg with some interesting wall strats here for the Octo fight. I've actually never seen anyone go to the wall this much before, but it's actually working out really well for him. And now, Drago getting some babies on his screen, but he was able to read the pattern very well, and some more babies. That can be annoying, because not only do you have to read the pattern, but then you have to dodge the children as well. And as he does more and more damage, Spider is going to rotate his patterns faster and faster, so you gotta really speed up your eyesight on this boss fight in particular. Drago not having any shenanigans at all. He's got 1 hit left on the Spider, and he's got it read well. That's a dead Spider. So these two are separated by basically 1 full fortress stage. But with that said, that is very easy to change at any moment in time. Craig being ultra careful on these platforms. These platforms have a dash eat input where you have to be on the platform and moving for 6 frames before you're able to actually perform a dash. The easiest way to not have to worry about that is if you just continuously move, but if you stop for whatever reason, or if you stop by accident, it is no fun. Sven is actually going to be able to get the initial vial skip. Let's see if he's able to get the full cutscene skip. He needs to fire a rolling shield as he's going through this door to be able to get the full skip. And there it is. Skip completed. And... oh. And... very nicely done by Sven there. Now Drago going through the hallway. The next refight for him is the Eagle fight. And again, he will have Sea Sting, but he's actually going to need to conserve some ammo, as the weakness for Rangda Bangda is also the Sea Sting. See here, Craig taking out Vile with his weakness, and he actually gets a better Vile fight than what Drago got, so these small little pieces of time save are actually in his favor right now, as far as boss RNG is concerned. Craig, he even shoots, Zero, just to speed his death up a little bit. No reason to allow our good friend to suffer. And now Drago on his way to the Rangda Bangda fight. He gets an immediate blue eye, but he's only going to double hit it. This one should be able to get 3 hits off on it. Oh, he misses it in the iframes. And now the nose. He's going to choose to let the nose live, that way he can finish off the eyes first. Gets a pair of green eyes, and then the walls close again. So let's see if he chooses to kill the nose now. He's going to. Alright, that's 1 dead eye, and that's a dead second eye. So, very well executed by Drago. Sven, with the standard Kuwanger refight strat, just jump up the wall and spam missiles. It's the easiest way to get through him, and the most consistent. And now he is on his way to Bow Spider refight. Or, not refight. It sometimes feels like you're refighting them. Drago with Dillo skip, and he nails it. The way that works is, as long as you go through the door without allowing for the screen to scroll up, Dillo will not be able to spawn. So you basically skip that entire refight. Sven reading the patterns very well. He's actually choosing to not do the full charge. It's easier for him to actually just shoot him instead. Oh, Baby was blocking the way. Sven misread that pattern a little bit, and he's getting misread another one there. So now he's going to have to be careful and maybe even consider using his E-tanks here. He's got 2 health left, so he's going to use 1. You actually hear right there, we actually got an increase in sound on Sven's speed. That's because if you remember earlier, he actually got a fade-out glitch, which, as we talked about, was basically him pausing the game. And so the entire game he's gone through with reduced sound because the game thinks that the game is paused. Now that he has quote-unquote unpaused the game, as you saw there, he now gets the full sound effects back. So we finally get some music to listen to again. And Spider has 1 hit left, and he's dead. So Drago now, back to the Octo fight. Feels like we saw him fight this boss like 5 minutes ago. It probably was about that much time that's elapsed. Drago has been on a very good pace this entire run. And at this point, he has 5 bosses left to kill before the game's over. Oh, he missed his dash input there. Gotta be really careful on these platforms. These platforms are not friendly to dashes. And those bats are extremely a pain in the butt as well. So he's gonna get through nicely, and he's on to his penguin refight. Oh no, Drago fired his tornado backwards. And Mammoth is finally dead. Sven taking care of Penguin very nicely. Didn't get too many dives. And now to the D-Rex fight. The dinosaur tank. Drago, so far, getting a good pattern, but like the spider fight, as you get him down to lower and lower health, he starts to speed up and go a little faster. Mech fight on the left screen. That was And so as we talked about when it comes to conserving ammo, you have to fight both Eagle and Rangda with the Sea Stings. So there are small little optimizations that speedrunners do to conserve ammo in certain areas of the game. The optimization that Craig went for was using missile turrets through the room, which is not exactly a high loss of time, but he does have to be very careful with these Eagle dives, as the screen is much lower now than it is in the original fight, so it can really be a nuisance to our runners. And now Drago fighting the dog, and the dog was being very friendly, just jumping over him, letting Drago dash under him. And Drago, 2 bosses away from completion here. Dread-Eye Sigma is next. And this is a timing boss fight. It's not necessarily a difficult, complicated fight. You just got to be timing your E-Sparks on the wall very nice. And once you get into a good rhythm, you're going to see Drago's getting 4 and 5 hits on a single rotation. He missed that 5th hit there. And that is a dead Jedi, so now he has... I would really suggest Craig go after his E-Tank use. He's only got 4 health left, and now he's fighting him on the wall. And he gets bodied by the red eye opening on the right side, and unfortunately, that is no good. I think he does still have 1 E-Tank left as well. Oh! Drago just fell off the claw, and now he's in a really bad spot. He can't take any more hits. He has no health left. Well, he has health left, but any damage is going to take away that health. Boss has half RNG left, and he slides underneath the claw. And Drago, having a well time, gets... Oh no, Craig fell into the spikes. He missed his dash jump off the wall. And now we have back-to-back-to-back deaths in a matter of just a minute. As you see, Craig knows he's low on ammo. He doesn't want to use any sort of ammo. He doesn't want to lose any ammo either. So he's going to be taking these ice and Oh, I would really suggest him not do that. When you have to fight the boss without his weakness, it is just... He needs to use his E-Tank here. Does he still have an E-Tank? Maybe I'm missing it. I thought he still had one E-Tank left when he used it on Spider. And Drago farming up his ammo, and now he's back to the boss fighting. One thing to notice about this fight is almost all of your ammo is used on each of these bosses. So if you die at any point in time, you've got to get your ammo back by farming them up on those little caterpillars, I guess, that you saw Drago farming them on. And now Drago back to the Jedi cycle. Sven having some more problems with Rangda. He now has to fight Rangda with only the Buster. And 1, 2, and 3 damage at a time is not the same as 4 and 5 damage at a time. Ew. Now he's switching to ice. And Drago gets back on top of the claw, so now here he goes again. There's one dead eye. Oh, he's got a little bit more health on the left eye. Drago getting some really nice claws. And Drago finishes with a 36:43 time. GG to Drago. Sven is also able to take out the Rangda face, so both of our runners break their curse on their respective boss fights at the same time. And now Sven moving on to the fortress, the third fortress stage. Coming into where Dillo Skip is at. And he's going to take out the turtles and the turrets to make the skip a little bit easier. And that is another successful skip. So 2 for 2 in our runs on. Oh, wait. Sven jumped just a tad too high. And he actually spawns the Dillo fight by just a pixel. So apparently when he jumped on the ledge, he jumped onto the ledge too high. And it was actually just enough for him to spawn the Dillo. And so he unfortunately does have to fight Dillo, and that's about a 30-second time loss just between the spawn, the explosion, and the fight itself. Now onward to the chameleon fight. He's going to use his boomerangs here. He's actually going to use the charge boomerang as well. And that makes the initial hit a little bit easier, but now he's got to be extremely careful with his ammo because that uses up 3 pieces of his ammo, the full charge does. So he's going to have a little bit left over for D-Rex, but he's not going to be as able on the D-Rex fight. Oh, he let go of his charge shield too soon. So he had to mash his way through the hiker and the wall. Now for the Mandrill fight. This is pretty much all of the refights after the Kwanger fight is the same as their respective original fights. Well, I guess Penguin is different too because you do have the Fire Wave. And for Craig, you had the Sea Sting for Eagle. So there are a couple of advanced strategies. Craig will be going after the ammo and the health. And now moving on to the Octo fight. And I really liked his first Octo fight. Let's see if he keeps the same pattern for the second one. And unfortunately gets an energy drain there from Octo, but he's not on the wall as much this fight as he was last fight, though. That's the 4th energy drain that Octo is giving him. Very bad patterns. Now he's going back to the wall. That's energy drain number 5. And he finishes him off with a rolling shield. Which, if he wants to use Sea-Sting, he's going to have to pause out of that, yeah. As now that the rolling shield is up, there's no way to cancel it without taking infinite damage on the spikes. Moving on to Mammoth stage. Well, not the stage, but just the boss fight itself. In this section, he's just going to spam the tornadoes, take them out as quickly as he can. Unfortunately, Mammoth, right before he died, threw out his last troll. He moved the conveyor belts to the left, so Craig is going to have to dash a little bit further to get to the D-Rex fight. But now here we go, on to the D-Rex fight. He has actually acquired a little bit more ammo for the fight, so... And this attack right here is extremely damaging to X. Fortunately, our speedrunner has the armor. Oh, he got a very good juke off on the chomp there. And he's on his way to the final boss stages. Velgarder, Jedi Sigma, and Velgarder Sigma are all that remains for Sven from victory, and from saving the world from the Reploids. Next up is fighting Velgarder, the dog. He is weak to ice. And what you want to try to avoid, and you can kind of get away with it in certain areas, you want to try to avoid staying off the wall, because the dog will chase you up the wall, and he chases you very fast up the wall. So you're able to get away with a dash kick or two off the wall, but you don't want to stay on the wall for long periods of time. And now, onto the timing rotation of the Jedi fight. Sven looks like he's got the pattern down very nice. And once you get the rotation started, it's just a rhythm from there. And Sven's got very good rhythm, as you see. One hit away, and he's dead. So now, final boss fight, Velgarder Sigma. 16 rolling shields to victory. And gets a pretty troll claw there. That's a lot of lightning. He's gonna burn his E-Tank. He only burns the small one, though. And now he finally gets on top of the claws, and here we go. Oh, he's got 1 health left. He survives that small E-Tank that he used. It was basically the difference between him living and dying now. And these claws... I can't say I've ever seen somebody get this many lightning shots out of the left claw. One more shot. Sven has killed Velgard or Sigma. GG to both of our runners. GG. And we're going to take a small little moment to give a shout out to Clifford for the restream of our great race today between Drago and Sven. So thank you, Clifford, for the restream. Thank you, Speed Gaming, for allowing us to host our channel. And as always, thank you to Speedruns Live for allowing us to host the races as well. So we'll take a few moments away to get the second race started, and we will be right back. Alrighty. As we get the next race set up, let's take a time to look ahead at some of our next races that we'll be hosting. At 3:30 Eastern Time later today, Dragonar, who is also competing in this race, will be taking on Ultra Uberness. That race is currently scheduled to be broadcast on Speed Gaming Channel 3. Drago and Ultra Uber are actually very close together. Ultra rocking a 36:23, I think is his time. Drago having a 33:53, so that will be an extremely tight window. And then at 5 o'clock Eastern, Crisco Wild will be taking on Hazy Perspective. Those two runners are also very close. They're only separated by about 45 seconds. And then the 6 o'clock, the main event of the evening, Colonel Fatso and Horta Diego will be taking on each other. But aside from that, we're going to be getting started on our next race. Dragonar, 1 win to 0. SvenCreg trying to bring this back to a game 3. Just waiting for the timer to tick down. Game start now. On to the intro stage. Mashing their way through the gunvolts. The gunvolts, as we talked about, have 16 health. So basically a blue shot and 12 or 13 lemons get you through it. And you've got to do that 3 times. But for our runners, they're both professionals. They don't have any problems at all with the gunvolts. Now moving on to the B, which can be the first big challenge, and Sven again got a passive B on his first try. Drago with a good B, he got a machine gun, so he's not going to have any issues with the second B at all. It was a passive B, but he had already gotten the good B, and oh, Craig, gotta be careful. Oh no. Double passives for Craig, and he drops and he's going to have to go all the way back to the start, so an unfortunate occurrence, and he's already very far behind. That's basically about 50 seconds of time loss if you actually died to the second B in that manner. Alright, so Drago getting to the end of the stage, and now we're going to see what type of... So, Sven finally gets a good first B. It only took him 3 tries. His first B last race was also passive. He actually gets the perfect B pattern the second time around. So, that's an even bigger annoyance, as he was unfortunately able to lose a life in the first round. But now, for the first time in this race series, somebody exits the B portion with more than 3 health. So we're going to see what types of strategies Sven is going to take to lose health here. If he goes for... It looks like his strategy is to take a little bit of damage on the cars. He didn't go for the full task car strat, but he did take the damage off the cars there, so he is now at the preferred health and will be able to finish off the Vile fight very quickly. Drago moving on to... the Penguin stage now, as Sven is finishing up Highway. And Drago going through his... Oh, he misses that slope jump, but he's able to get the secondary backup strat. And now he gets to the dash boot capsule. Alright. Craig moving through the outside stage. And Drago going through the snowball section. And Drago to the boss fight. Getting a 423 door. Very respectable. And Craig now on the inside of the cave. You actually see he didn't go for the slope jump this race. He went for the slope jump last race and wasn't able to get it. Drago getting a really good pattern by Penguin there. And he finishes him off in a very nice time. Oh, Sven got bonked down the hole by the Jamminger, but he was able to recover against the wall and climb back up to the top. So now Drago moving on to the Kawanger fight. He had a bit of an interesting time on this stage last time. Let's see if he's able to clean that up and get a better run out of this. And it looks like he did just that. He's going to wait for the turtles again. The turtles are a very critical part of this stage, and messing them up can not only cost you a lot of time, but it can also cost you a lot of health. And in the any percent route, especially in the low percent route that Drago is going for, sacrificing health is, if it's not necessary, you don't want to do it. And that's what you saw Drago do there. Penguin is dead on Sven's screen, and now he will be moving on to the Eagle course. As we saw last run, these runners actually have very different routes that they take for any percent. The route doesn't matter too much. You would prefer to do Kawanger, Chameleon, and then Eagle. That way you have Eagle's weakness with the Sea Sting. However, Sven's going to bypass that for a safer time on the Kawanger fight. Or on the Kawanger stage all in together. And Drago, he had a similar issue last run where the Kawanger came out of the dance very early, and he has it happen to him again here. Now he's got to be very careful because Kawanger deals 4 damage. So if he takes another hit, he's going to be dead, and there it is. And oh no, Craig just fell off the platforms altogether. And the issue with those particular platforms is because you go up and grab the E-Tank in this route, you actually bypass where the spawn of the checkpoint is. So because he bypassed the checkpoint spawn, he isn't there. He has to go all the way to the back, to the start of the stage now. And now he's just going to bonk it way through the gunvolts. That way he can get to the back to the platforms where he was. He slips off the platform ledge again. And that is mighty unfortunate, and that's also a game over. Although game over really doesn't take that much effect for him because he would have had to start over at the start of the stage anyway. Drago was able to get his revenge on Kawanger and is now moving on to the Chameleon section. But these platforms, as we talked about in the first race, are not being very kind. Drago got a good dodge there on the Amen Hopper. But did have a couple of bad rocks. But Sven finally gets past the turrets and now moving on to the upper part of the airport where Eagle is going to be. And picks up the health for safety, and now he is on to the Eagle fight. chameleon, always a good easy rotation pattern. And Sven, he is just getting unfortunate dives. Got one to start with, and that was 6 right there before Eagle finally comes down. And he's going right back up. Got 8 total dives. And now Drago moving on to Eagle. The advantage Drago has is he's going to have Eagle's weakness. So the fight will be a little bit quicker. Drago actually missing the dash input on that second gunvolt, and so he had to bonk his way through that. He takes a hit on the flame turret, and now he is off to the upper echelon of the Eagle stage. Sven going down, he's going to pick up the health down here at the bottom of the Mammoth stage. He's going to tornado the miner guys, and he goes to the second area of the conveyors. Eagle fight on the right screen. As you see, he loses so much health with those sea stings, but he's going to get dives too. Let's see how many dives he gets. That's the third. This is number 6. And number 7. 7 dives for Drago, and I think there was a total of 8 dives for Craig. So, bad patterns for both of our runners. But they're both on their way to Mammoth stage now, and Mammoth is a much easier boss fight. Just stand right at his feet and shoot tornadoes at him. And Sven takes care of him very easily. Alright. Now that Sven has everybody's favorite weapon, he is going to use it justly, burning all the enemies in his way. Drago actually gets the off-screen kill there, and that's a bit of time save. Maybe by a couple of frames or so. But you can only do that with 2 bosses. Those 2 bosses are Mammoth and Eagle. If you kill them well, you can do it with Vile too, I suppose. But if you kill them while they're off the screen, it actually reduces a little bit of lag during their explosion. And you saw Drago get that very nicely with... Oh. Sven fell off the ladder there. Not sure how that happened exactly. But now Drago bringing out the fire waves. We've got double fire wave action on our screen. He must have heard us talking about it. He's doing the full hallway. Oh, he just saved himself from death right there. He takes out the full hallway with the fire wave. Now on to the Thunder Slimer fight. As you see here, he's using the boomerangs to rotate up and hit Slimer. Boomerangs are fortunately Thunder Slimer's weakness next, as well as the Sea Sting. Now you see Craig taking out Chameleon with a mixture of charged shots and dash lemons. Oh, he gets grabbed and he gets thrown into the ceiling. And as we saw on Drago, Kwanger does 4 health of damage, and that grab was unfortunate. He mistimed his jump just a tad, and there's the dance. You get to see it a little bit, but Kwanger teleports out of it, and now we're back into the normal rotation. Mandrill with a Mike Tyson KO punch to X. And now Drago drops a life. These have been some very troll boss fights for our runners to have to deal with today, especially in this round. But Drago gets his revenge, Craig gets his revenge, and on to the next fight. Craig will be moving down to the Chameleon stage, Drago will be moving up to the Dillo stage, and Craig with some input drops, and he actually selects Kwanger stage again. So he's going to have to escape out of this area and teleport down to the Chameleon stage. You actually saw him take his time on those inputs that time. Alright. So now Drago, riding the cart. This is actually one of the most boring speedrun levels in the game, because you just kind of ride the cart. You don't, well, you do more than I'm giving Drago benefit for, but there's 3 carts and you ride all 3 of them as far as they let you go. Onto the RT55J fight for Craig, and as we saw, he's going to fire 18 shots, and you actually see there he's firing double boomerangs. I didn't notice this in the original, but RT55J has like 15 iframes or something like that. So by firing double boomerangs there, he's actually losing boomerangs and losing damage that he could be outputting. So and now Drago getting a good pattern on Dillo this time. If you remember last run, Dillo rolled for Drago for about 15 seconds. And so he gets the perfect pattern this time. And now Craig moving through the hallway or the cave. Very easily done. Both of our runners are very skilled. Takes a bonk from the Jamminger there. And now Craig is to the Chameleon fight, whereas Drago is on his final Maverick, the Octopus. It's a couple of clean dashes under those Amen hoppers, and now he's moving on to his first submarine. I believe his name is the Angler. And he gets an unfortunate searchlight. Those searchlights produce a very high amount of lag. And another dash jump off the side, and Craig has taken out Chameleon. The anglers are dead for Drago. He stops to farm some health, and now he's on his way to the Utoboros eel fight. Very nice depth charges there. He's able to avoid taking damage. Now, the Utoboros will get his 2 seconds of glory, and he's dead. GG. GG, Udo. On to the real boss fight, Octopus. Sven's moving over. Gonna bring out the tornadoes for the gunbolts here. And he's gonna go down and pick up the E-Tank, as we saw him do last run. And the energy drains have appeared on Drago's screen. He's got 2 so far. Oh, he goes up for a 3rd. And Drago takes care of him very nicely. Now Sven going to repeat the pattern that Drago popped up. Take him out with... Oh no. This is not a good pattern. You don't want to see Thunder Slimer bouncing around like that. It is very difficult to get damage output on him when he's jumping around like this. But Craig takes care of the bad situation. He's able to get Thunder Slimer down. And now we go on to the vial section of the fortress. Sven's able to pick up that health drop. And now he's going to move through the last darkness area of the mandrill stage. He's got a couple of Atarians here to take care of. 2 more. Well, he missed that one, but no big deal. He's gonna grab that health, and now he's going to the mandrill stage. And here comes Drago to the vial skip. He's able to get the vial skip very nicely. He accidentally fires his rolling shield, knocks Vial back a few frames, a few pixels, but he gets the E-Spark there, and now Zero saving his life. He was in danger. Now here come the rolling shields for the Vial fight. Gets the jump. And nice dodge there. Takes a little bit of damage from the floor charges, but very good Vial fight for Drago. Look over to Sven's screen now. Sven moving on to Dillo. He's got 2 Mavericks left before he gets to the fortress. And rest in peace, Zero. We love you. You were a good big brother to us. And Drago releases his Sea Sting full charge. And now he's going to be able to iframe his way up all the way to the Kawanger fight. Very nicely done, very nicely done. Sven pulls out his boomerangs to grab these 2 health charges. And now the first refight for Drago, going to the Kawanger fight. He does have the missiles this time, so be able to take him out very quickly. And he finishes with a charge. That way he can start charging up his Sea Sting for the hallway to the spider fight. Now we saw last run, Drago got a couple of hatchling spawns, but he was able to take them out very, very easily. Now Sven hopping on the final cart, taking out the bird spawns. There's a lot of lag when those birds spawn. But Sven taking him out nicely. Drago with his full ice charge. There comes the hatchlings. Oh, he missed a charge, and he slides to the wall. That was swag. That was swag. Alright, we're back. We had a minor interruption. My microphone turned itself off and I couldn't figure out how to turn it back on. But we are back, and stupid batteries, guys. Don't you know? Udo goes down on Craig's screen. And Drago going to the eagle fight. And Sven going into Octo. Octo fight is a little bit more manageable for Craig because he has the armor. But he does have a very good Octo pattern that he rotates through. Unfortunately, Octo giving him tornadoes as well. Oh, there's the second one. Let's see if he breaks the stream record. There's 3. Drago had 5 earlier. This is number 4. I shouldn't be cheering for things like this. This is horrible. Oh, I thought that was going to be it. But Craig, he takes him out before Octo breaks his own personal record. And now Drago going to Rangda. Oh, he misses a shot on the blue eye. He's able to get the second shot to count. He did get a green eye to start with, so the left eye does still have 1 health left. They both still have 1 health left. And now they don't have any health left, they're dead. Craig now starting his first fortress stage. And the damage that he's taking here is actually intended to be taken because he needs to lose health. That way he can initiate the Vials fight. Oh, and Drago misses Skip. And so now he's going to have to fight Dillo. And Dillo, as is normal with Dillos, gives some very bad patterns for our friend Drago. But Drago managed it very well, very nice, and Dillo is dead. Craig pushes his way through the Vile skip. Very nicely performed. And now the Vile fight is next for him. Drago had initial difficulty with the pattern, but now he's got the pattern where he wants it. And this is pretty much a dead lizard at this point. Vile is dead on the left screen, and now we are going to watch the most difficult cutscene in almost all of video game history. Zero dying. Rest in peace, Zero. You were a great benefit to our cause. Drago rotating through the mandrill fight now. And that's a dead monkey. Now Sven going to the tower climb. It's anonymous with Kuwanger. Releases his charge, and now here we go. I actually disagree that Aerith's death was less sad than... I think Aerith's death was probably the most sad in all of video games history. That was ranked as #1 on Game Informer, so... Craig takes out Kuwanger very nicely, and Drago finishes off Octo. And now, on to Spider. And we saw last run, Craig did not use the charge strats. He just went with the normal shooting the ice strats. So takes a little bit longer, maybe about 2 or 3 more pattern rotations. But at the end of the day, what matters is that Spider dies. Because I'm pretty sure there won't be a single person in chat that will raise their hand when I ask who likes spiders. No one likes spiders. And Spider is even more annoying when he puts out baby spiders. Sven's going to wisely use one of his E-tanks. Gets more hits off on the boss. It's always important. You want to make the one shot you're going to get on Spider count, because his eye is only open long enough for you to get one hit off on him. So as long as that one hit hits, it doesn't really matter what you do at that point. D-Rex is dead. Getting more babies from Spider. He's got 2 more hits left. Oh, he misses that one though. Got that one out. Now he's got 1 more hit left. And Spider's dead. Going on to the second fortress stage now is Craig. He's got some time he's got to make up. Drago on the final stage. He actually did have a single death to Final Sigma last run. Let's see if he can clean that up and get himself a good fight here. He takes a little bit more damage from the dog than he wants, and now, keep in mind, Drago plays full low percent. He is not able to take any more damage for the rest of this game if he wants to finish it out here. For the rest of the game, the least amount of damage that Drago will be able to take is 8, and he only has 4 health left. So he's gonna have to put on his dodge pants. And he's able to take out Jedi very nicely. Sven getting some unfortunate slides from Penguin here. That's his third. His fourth. Now Velgard or Sigma always starts off with a bad lightning bolt. And Drago's just going to be patient here until he can get up to the claws. He's on the claws now. Now he's got to avoid the lightning. He's got to avoid any crossovers. Get out your DPS. Good dodge. He's doing this very, very nicely. 3 more hits left. 2 and 1. GG for Drago. And some nice mech action on the left scene. And he goes back to his missile strat that he was using in the first run. Conserving the sea-sting ammo. That's always important to do on this stage because you have to use so much of it. But now he will transport himself to the eagle fight. And this eagle fight can actually be much more difficult to deal with than the original eagle fight because the screen is scrolled down a little bit lower. So you have less reaction time to deal with where eagle's diving from. Fortunately, Sven is the one playing this game and not me. Sven is taking this out very nicely, and that's a dead eagle. Very nicely done by Sven. Very nicely done. Now he moves on to the Rangda section. He had some trouble on the Rangda stage last time. Let's see, hopefully he's going to be able to get a better Rangda pattern this time. He had like 4 green eyes, which caused him to kill the nose prior to the eyes dying, and that can create a very difficult situation. 1 eye is okay, and there's another green eye for him to start with, and a second as well. But he does get a blue eye, so he's going to be able to get 3 hits out on this one. And now the walls close. Here comes the nose. He only gets 1 hit off on the nose. He's going to wait for the eyes to be dead before he worries about killing the nose. The first eye is dead now. And he misses the final hit. He did go for the kill. But much better Rangda fight for Sven this round than last round. And now he will be moving on to the D-Rex section. One thing to note is he actually did get the ice sled movement last run, but he jumped too high, and I think he did it again there. We're gonna see, and the screen scrolls up all the way, so we're not gonna get to see, but I think his initial jump onto the platform was originally too high last run, and that's what caused Dillo to spawn. But Dillo, best friends with Craig, no rolls again for him. And that was synonymous with all 4 Dillo fights that he's had this run. Did not get a single roll. And that is a dead Dillo. And now he's going to move on to the Chameleon fight. Charging up, Fire Wave. Dillo, best friends with Craig, no rolls again for him. And that was synonymous with all 4 Dillo fights that he's had this run. Did not get a single roll. And that is a dead Dillo. And now he's going to move on to the Chameleon fight. Charging up. Alright. So, had a bit of a echo there for a second. Drago was watching the stream. Moving over to Sven now. Taking out Mandrill stage here. He gets a lightning bolt there from Mandrill. Nothing that he can't handle. One more shot, and the monkey's dead. Alright, we have swapped over. And this is actually very, very bad for Craig. He's out of boomerangs, and he accidentally mashed into the electric spark when he was picking up that ammo drop. So he only has one boomerang available for the D-Rex fight. He's gonna have to do the D-Rex fight for the most part Buster only, and that could be very difficult. It is not something that is practiced by the speedrunners. So we're going to see a really impromptu fight by Sven here. Let's see how he's able to handle that. He's not going to be able to pick up any more ammo on the... Well, it depends really how he handles the situation. He could, I suppose, use the boomerang from the bottom to pick up that ammo, but he's not going to go that route. So he's going to have to do this, for the most part, Buster only. And Mammoth is dead. So now looking forward to this D-Rex fight. He does have a couple more pieces of ammo now. He was down to one. I'm not exactly sure where he got two more from, actually. But he has 3 total now. So... or actually 4. So he needs to make all 4 of these count. And he's able to do that. Now he's going to have to Buster him down. Oh, and he gets chomped. That is really unfortunate. And now you also have to be careful, because at this point the only way for him to get ammo back is to game over on the stage. And you really don't want to do this entire stage over again. So, the best thing for him to do is to not be stingy with his E-tanks. He does have 2. He needs to make sure he uses them if he gets himself into danger. Very nice dodging of the sparks there. He does get a chomp there, but nothing too serious yet. He's got some very good DPS coming out. When you're fighting bosses Buster only, the important thing to do is to get yourself into a good rhythm. And you see he's kind of got that good rhythm here on the left side wall. Does get knocked off there, but once again, going back to the wall, got the good rhythm. One more hit. Oh, he misses that one, but that one counts. Very, very nicely done by Craig. He stayed true to what brought him here. And maybe not something that you exactly practice, but you can definitely see the skill of the runners. When they have to come into these races, there's no resetting. You don't get to start over. You gotta play the hand you're dealt. He was dealt a D-Rex fight with no boomerangs, and he knocked it out of the ballpark. And he didn't have to use his E-tank as well. Very, very skill fight there. And now he moves on. He's got 2 full E-tanks for the final fight. He's got Velgarder, Jedi Sigma, and Velgarder Sigma left to take care of. Just gonna stand in the corner and mash through the ice, and Velgarder's dead. Now moving on to Jedi Sigma. Jedi Sigma is not too complicated of a fight, but it is a very timing fight. So you've got to really have your timing down. See, Sven misses a couple of shots, so he's got to fine-tune his fingers a little bit. And he got a triple there. Needs to fine-tune his fingers just a little bit more. Ooh, don't take a hit, though. Don't want that to happen. But it looks like he's got the rotation he wants. Two more hits. Oh. And there we go. Now he's got Velgard or Sigma left. He might want to consider using one of his E-tanks here soon. He only has 6 health left. And he's going to use the small one first. And the Uber driver claw comes and picks him up. And now doing very nicely. He's going to have to use his last C-tank now. That gives him full health. But he does fall off the claw. Let's be patient, wait for the opportunity, and there he goes. Now he's back up. Alright, he falls off again. But same strategy. You just want to be patient when you fall off the claw. You don't want to rush. That's how you get killed. And Sven getting back on top very nicely. He's got 3 hits to go. 2 and 1. And GG, SvenCreg, 47-12 official time. Both of our runners displayed tremendous skill in this run. One that stands out to me for sure is definitely the Buster-only D-Rex fight that Craig had to do. That was a very, very good fight. And now, runners saying GG's to each other. And we're going to see if they want to join us for an interview here while we got a little bit of time. All right, we have Drago joining us.
Hello.
Hello, Drago. Congratulations on your race victory.
Thank you.
SvenCreg is going to choose not to interview with us, which is actually unfortunately because I really wanted to discuss the Buster-only D-Rex fight with him. That was an amazing fight, but he is choosing to pass on the interview. So, Drago, congratulations on your victory. I'm going to have a feeling that you're not too happy with your runs.
With the first one, I'm actually okay. The second one, no, not too happy. Coanger is my personal final boss, so I know that takes a lot of work. Actually, when I woke up today, I did more Coanger practice than anything else, but it's apparently no point doing so, because this boss is literally impossible. But, yeah.
You started the dance out initially, but he broke out really early. Do you have any reason or any knowledge on why he's breaking out of his dance early for you?
I'm pretty sure it's just me jumping too early and causing him not to even attempt a second grab. I think that's the problem.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I would have to watch it back, but I'm pretty sure that's what the deal is with that.
Okay. And then, for the most part, you're staying true to your name, low percent only. Have you considered for these races, taking any safeties at all, or are you just going to stick low percent the whole time?
I will stick low percent. I will rather lose with low percent than win with safety items.
Oh, okay, I understand.
And I know it will be dangerous because I mean these times that I put down are beatable for Ultra tonight, who I will be facing in like, I don't know, 4 hours or something.
Right.
So I need to be a bit careful with that. I'll have to be a bit more on point. So, but we'll just have to see. Ultra can make mistakes as well. So, assuming that happens and he makes some mistakes, I make some mistakes, I'm looking forward to taking another victory there. But we'll see. We'll see. It's not impossible for me to lose that one.
Yeah. One thing I did want to ask about, and this is something I've asked a lot of speedrunners. In any percent, it really doesn't matter where you fight Mammoth at. Is there any reason that you immediately go to Mammoth after Eagle, or is it just 100% habit?
I'm not really sure. I don't remember. I never changed the any percent route after I initially played it the first time. So I must have seen someone playing with Mammoth on number 5. I don't know, maybe Zam used to play it like that and I'd simply copy the splits. I'm not really sure. But I've always had these splits, so I just stick with that. There is no real reason to it. And I guess it's easy because the stage select for me is the same as 100% Eagle to Mammoth. Although I do need to be a little careful because it's not impossible for me to mess up when I have to go back to Mandrill.
Yeah, that is, you know, the full Penguin to Coanger, Mandrill to Dillo, Mandrill to Mammoth. I've seen that one too. All of those splits, 3-button mashes. It's very easy to miss one and go to the wrong stage. That's a costly 15 seconds.
Yeah, I noticed this week when I was trying to do some runs.
Well, do you have anything else you would like to say to the stream, Drago?
Oh, well, I also hope that someone gets this rage on VHS. That's something I truly. I have to say, during the second race, there were a couple times where I looked at the chat, and it was actually fairly amusing. I hope Headfield picked up on my Firewave strats and Mandrill. I was not planning to do that, but I looked to the right and saw Headfield go Firewave, and the chat was like, yeah, Firewave! I used to do Mandrill with Firewave, but I've clearly forgotten how to do that, because I bonked quite a lot. And so, I don't know, the only thing that I'm a little bit, well, not really bothered about is that I died at the end of the first race. But it was so silly, people were like, oh my god, he's throwing, but it was only a really small mistake on my department, as you know, when the claws do something on the final Sigma fight, they open up before they do anything. So either they shoot a lightning or they move. But like 4 out of 5 times or even more, they will shoot a lightning. And I saw the claw open up, so oh, there's gonna be a lightning. So yeah, and then it suddenly moved right above my head, and I jumped into it. It's kind of silly, but not much I could have done about it. It was a very small mistake on my department. So.
Okay. Well, one thing to bring up, and Drago mentioned it earlier, the next race coming up at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is roughly in about 4 hours right now. It's going to be Drago versus Ultra Uber on Speed Gaming Channel 3. So, any looking forward to that one? Going to practice
more? Might be wrong, but isn't it 5 hours from now?
11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Yep, you're right, 5.
No.
Yeah, 5 hours from now.
Well, I mean, it's a good try having everyone be here an hour early. Like, don't miss it!
Oh. All right. So, and then obviously we also have Crisco Wild and Hazy Perspective at 5 o'clock Eastern Time on Speed Gaming Channel 4. And then Colonel Fatso and Torta Diego is going to wrap up today's racing at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that one doesn't have a scheduled channel yet, so stay tuned. I'm sure we'll have it by the 3:30 time. But as always, thank you for the race admins for allowing us hosting this tournament for us. Thank you for Clifford for restreaming today's race, Speed Gaming and Speedruns Live for allowing us to use their networks. And thank you to all of the viewers for tuning in today. We will see you guys next time. Toodaloo.
See you later, everyone.